Well, it feels like Ashes of Creation hype might be starting to return a little bit, so maybe the return of Rive making Ashes videos more regularly might be happening pretty soon. However, we did learn yesterday that the quarter announcement for Alpha 2 is not until next month, but I think potentially to compensate for that a little bit, Steven did start to drop a bunch of new information and leaks in the Discord, which we're going to go over. This is the first kind of thing of significance where he talks about what's going on in the stream tomorrow. So tomorrow, they also said it's going to be a 2-hour stream at the bottom of this. This is going to be a massive stream, and we know the artisan system is massive with artisans making the best gear in the game, the crafting portion of the artisan system making the best gear in the game, the crazy complex processing system with how that works on the freeholds, and with only being able to master one branch over the artisan system. So they're going to do updates to UI for inventory and spatial management. I think that's fairly straightforward. Game lighting in the day and night cycle, skybox and volumetric cloud updates, a processing showcase. So we might see more freeholds and more of kind of how the processing actually works. We haven't seen any real processing yet. So that's a completely new thing that we haven't actually seen in game yet. Profession skill trees we haven't seen at all. So seeing that is gigantic. This kind of confused me. Certification and tool making process. I get tool making process because obviously you have to make tools for gathering. Certification, I'm not sure what that means, whether that's a typo or what that is. I kind of thought like maybe it's a freehold building permit, and maybe with the certificate name being freed up, maybe it's that, but that doesn't really fit with tool making. So I think this is some brand new thing. I don't know. Something to do with gathering, that maybe you need some sort of certificate to gather in certain areas or a certificate to gather certain things. I don't know. I don't know what that is, but I think that's a new system that we're going to learn about is my guess. Recipe book and crafting stations, I think that's straightforward. Corrupt zone updates. So they have talked about there's corrupted resources in the corrupt zones. So maybe they'll go gathering in the corrupted zones and talk about the resources there. The adaptive resource and gathering tech update. So we know that there's a land management system, and we know that resources will adapt based on how many are gathered in that area. I assume that's what they mean, and some ranger skill leagues. Talents asked about lighting upgrades. Steven says, tomorrow you will see some significant updates on lighting, but it's just the beginning. One might even say a whole new world. Now, you could almost take this as far as they're going into a new zone. We've been stuck in the Riverlands for a long time now. They might go into a new zone. I think that is actually possible. Maybe we'll see the Sand Squall Desert for the first time in game. They're not going to be able to show surveying, but they will show upgrade paths for surveying. The visuals are not ready yet to show. We'll see some gear. Reason for delaying the quarter reveal to December. He says he's just not ready yet, and they're trying to be better about dates, which good. Because, yeah, that's a good thing. Spot testing, this is the biggest thing here, of course, that everybody is talking about, and most of you have probably already heard of this, but spot testing has begun. Some limited NDA testers are participating in spot tests, and December we'll see more, including some major headless client testing. Also, those of you that still have the A1 launcher may see an update in the next couple of weeks. So that is very interesting. Now, he also does say there is still much to do, so temper yourselves. I've seen a lot of people say this confirms first half of 2024 for Alpha 2. And while I am leaning that way now, I would say, I don't think it guarantees it. And with MMO development, it's a very complicated process. Obviously, it's way more complicated than I think most games. There's no guarantee it's in the first half, although, like I said, I think it's probable at this point. And to go with that, I do want to talk about Alpha 1. This early preview live stream, from what I understand, in March of 2020, they were already having NDA spot testing with the PI people. From what I understand, that's the point they're at right now with Alpha 2. Now, I think they've probably gotten better as a company. The company is much larger now, so development is obviously probably going to be much faster. They've streamlined a lot of things. They have a lot of new tools in place to develop the game faster. UE5, I think, helps them develop the game faster. But keep in mind, from March of 2020 until August of 2021, there was over a year of spot testing before Alpha 1 happened. Now, I don't think it'll be that long. Obviously, it can't be over a year this time, or else they wouldn't hit that 2024 year, which they have confirmed. it still opens up the possibility of Q3 or Q4 being the quarter. It's just probably less likely at this point. Resource extractors, we haven't heard about that since 2017. They still are in the game. Nice Gaming asks if we can fire from the back of duo mounts. Caravan attacks will look like old Western train robberies. That would be cool. There are fun component options for vehicles in Ashes. Now, I don't think they've talked much about this. We know, obviously, caravans have components, and caravans, which we saw in the last stream, and caravans are vehicles, technically. So he did say vehicles. However, so maybe he's just talking about something in this class here, because we know, like, caravans, you could probably potentially mount weapon type things. I could see potentially being on there in one of these components. But with mounts, we know there's a thing called mount barding, something that I don't think too many people are aware of, but it's like an armor that you put on your mount. Barding will have multiple components that can be equipped. Each component will increase the stats of the mount, such as hit points and speed. Potentially, maybe they have modified that to include weapons, maybe? I guess that's possible, at least on the group mounts. I could maybe see that. That would be very interesting if they did that. But I think he's more talking about like caravans and ships than he is about mounts here. But we'll have to see. But that is it. So, of course, the hype is going to start to build. People are going to start to think like it's coming in January or February. It might be a little too early for that. I'm still probably going to wait till December to see what they say in terms of a quarter. And once we get the quarter, then eventually I'll start to pick back up on the Ashes of Creation content creation. The problem is I've made about every possible video you could make about Ashes that is speculative in nature and even informative in nature. So I'm probably going to have to do some repeat videos, but hopefully they'll be better quality, as I have improved quite a bit over time in terms of my quality, I would say, to pat myself on the back. But that's it, guys. We're playing Season of Discovery in the guild tomorrow, so if you'd like to play some of that, join us for that. Link will be in the description. And with that, guys, see you in the next video.